Remember this MS660 from a previous video? This is the one that had all kinds of dirt ingestion, dirty air filter, and dirt in the carburetor. When I had that carburetor off, I should have flushed the crankcase out with fuel. After I published the video, and I had this suggestion a couple times in the comments, we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's pull the carb back off of this thing. Okay, so we got the carb off, the spark plug out. Make sure we're in the off position, and I've got the coil wire tucked down in there out of my way. And I'm going to put some mixed fuel down the intake and down the impulse line. I've got the piston at the top, so when I look in that hole right now, I can see the connecting rod. This is very scientific. I've got my bottle of mixed mustard. That impulse line could have remnants of dirt in it, so we're going to flush it out too. Okay, I think we got enough in there. So when I pull this over, a little bit of fuel might come out that impulse. Yep. I'll just hold my finger over it. I'm giving those bearings a wash. Just like a washing machine. I have a big clean container here. I'm going to dump all of that fuel into this, and then I'll pour it into a glass container and we can examine it. Okay, so I've wiped it out. Might be a little bit of dirt in the bottom of it, but it is clean. Tyler's giving me a bit of a hand here. So we're going to put a bit more clean fuel in it, shake it up, dump it a couple more times. What we're actually using here for fuel is Stihl 50-to-1 modal mix. We couldn't do this with fuel because the smell of it would stink us right out of here. Probably recommend doing something like this outside. Let's just pour it into that glass container. Well, that's dirty. So there's a bit of just modal mix in a jar for reference to what it should look like. And there's what came out of the saw. So I think we did 4 rinses, and the final rinse came out pretty clean looking. Let's take this one step further, and I'll run that through a coffee filter, and then we'll see exactly how much dirt came out of there. A little bit in the jar. percolate this fuel. That's quite a buildup. So that would have all came out of the crank bearings, all in the crankcase. So that's quite a lot of dirt. And that's not all of it, because there's dirt caught in this container. There's a bit of dirt in the pan that we dumped it into. So hopefully that was a good demonstration of what happens when your saw experiences dirt ingestion. Keep your air filters clean and tight. So if you do this at home, be very careful. Probably do it outside. Have a fire extinguisher on hand, and you are doing this at your own risk. I'm not recommending that anybody do this. I'll just throw this thing back together. I'll put the bar and chain back on this thing, and it's ready to go home.